Okay, so here we have all the things in my first video that I just showed you. If we look over here, we have my gloves, which I have burned holes through, and my jacket, which I don't wear very often, unless it's really hot. Here I have a mechanical blower from a Christmas decoration, one of the big blow-up things. If we go over here, we have one of my older anvils, which very big, very clunky, very loud. I can hardly lift that thing by myself. Here we have my anvil in its home. A railroad tie plate, a piece of machete broken. My bellow, like I said, it's foot pump. My forge, which I can't get started right now because we just had a torrential downpour and it soaked everything. But all I burn it in it is wood. Here's where my air comes in the side here. It's not very efficient, not very hot. I can't do too much with it. I mean, I can get the steel a nice orange color, but for pattern welding, things like that, it just doesn't work. Yeah. Here I have some bricks that I use for propping. This here was actually my first anvil that I had turned over with the stainless steel plate glued to the bottom with liquid nails. As you see, it chipped, broke, dented. The bottom was flat. It broke, crumbled. It's just a big cinder block. I use 4 of them to make my forge, with just bricks lining the inside. Broken bricks at that. But yeah, it didn't work. The glue came undone many times. And I don't suggest using a cinder block for a forge. But here are my tools, once again, my tongs, which they work. They grab a little bit. It's hard to do with one hand. But they don't grab the best, and especially not like this, up and down, because I guess I didn't make them very well. They're just made out of rebar, I think 1/2 inch. They work. I riveted them, but if you look on my face, this knife here, I was holding them with the rebar. They were nice and red hot. I was working on them, and I hit them just wrong, or hit the knife just wrong, and it came up and it cut me from my nose across underneath my eyebrow right here. And it was red hot, so it hurt, and I wasn't wearing my safety glasses. I had just been out front cutting wood, and not my smartest move. Definitely not my smartest move. Here is the bar that I made this knife from. You can hardly tell anymore. I've done so much work to it. But it's that long. I cut it off at the end here. And I'm currently making another knife out of this end. It's going to be nice, hopefully. Here's the bar I made my first knife out of. A little bit of work. Oak handle. Cut it with a bandsaw. Filed with a file. If you can see the rainbow in the steel here, I did that by heating it on a coil stove. I'm sure you can do it with a fire and get an even color, or with an oven or something, and get one color all the way through the metal. But I used a coil stove. Didn't work, just for an experiment. Well, it did work. Here's my file I used to clean up my edges. It works. Kind of rusty. Don't know if you can see it, but it works pretty good. I put the handle on it, just a piece of a branch or something that I cut down and took the bark off of out of an old oak tree or something. Drilled a hole, tapped it in. It works. Better than holding the shank of the, or the tang, rather, of the file. Like I said, here's my first metal anvil. There's the glue that came off. Not the greatest. It's all dented and scratched. It was pretty much polished when I got it. I'm not sure what the hole is from. We found it in a scrap pile. Here's my wire brush. Got it at our local pawn shop for like $2, $3. It works. They sell them at Tractor Supply Company. Or at least they do at the one down here for like $10, $15. For the very same thing with the very same tag. Here's my pliers, which I had these before I had my tongs, and I still use them even now because the tongs get they don't grab very well, but the pliers they work. I just can't get into my fire and grab with one hand, but they still work. Over here's my safety glasses. Safety first. If I had been wearing these, I would not have a cut across my face. These are nice. Z87, OSHA approved. Here's an old file, or chisel rather, that I used to put a line into that bar over there before cutting off the knife. It's a wood chisel, I know, not meant for steel, but as it was nice, bright, hot, I figured it would be okay one-time use. Yes. And as you can see, the ground is very wet right now. Muddy, filthy. We live in the south. Lots of rain. Sunshine right now because the weather is very fickle. And this will be the end of my video because, well, here's my hammer. My only hammer. Well, not my only hammer. I have claw hammers laying over there. But 3.5 pound, I believe, or 3 pound cross peen. Very nice. Good sturdy handle. I mean, this has lasted me a couple of months now of beating almost every day. Works real good. I'm not sure what'll happen if I try to use that end of the cross peen. I may end up kicking myself because it'll suck, but I've done all of this, made the tongs, made that knife, made those, all of it with this hammer here. It's good, and it was relatively cheap. Yeah, this is it, the end of the video.